Good morning, everybody. My name is Debbie Foster, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, and I want to welcome you here today. If you're watching me on Facebook, be sure you hit that like button and the share button. I'd appreciate that. And if you're watching me on YouTube, I would like you to subscribe to my channel. And let me bring that icon up here so you can see. Okay, it says like and subscribe, and click that little bell if you're watching on my YouTube channel. So I want to thank you for being here today and spending some time with me. I've got some Stampin' Up! Projects to show you today, and I hope you'll enjoy those. All right. If you're not working with the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator at this time, I'd appreciate you shopping in my store. And I'm going to put that banner up here for you to see. It is www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. I'd appreciate your support. Okay, and let me get rid of that. Okay, I'm kind of disembogulated today, so I'm kind of trying to get things straightened out again. And we're going to go over some housekeeping notes. And today is Thursday, July 30th, 2026. And we only got one more day left of this month. It's hard to believe that July's almost over with. Time flies. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about Paper Pumpkin. And okay, I'm not sure I got the right button there. This one is called Hooray for Birthdays. No, Kindred Greetings. This is the August Paper Pumpkin kit. All right, it says Kindred Greetings. You got until August 10th to sign up for this one. In fact, I think we're still running the special where you can get your Paper Pumpkin kit at 25% off. If you're a new Paper Pumpkin subscriber, that is. All right, this one says send timeless, understated cards with heartfelt messages of comfort and appreciation. It makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs, and 9 coordinating envelopes. Pre-cut paper pieces and intricate pre-cut card fronts. Gray and white twine. And the Stampin' Spot that you'll get with this one is going to be gray granite. And it says card bases and envelopes have a textured linen-like feel. These are going to be really pretty, it looks like. And to go along with that, we've got the detailed Flora add-on dies, and these are available while supplies last. You get a circle die, a flower die with the stem, and then a large leaf die. And these are item number 168664, and they're $13. Okay. And then also, Stampin' Up! Has changed their way of getting your starter kit. It's called a welcome box. It says get yours when you join Stampin' Up! And what you do, you pay $100 for your starter kit, and they'll send you a welcome box along with a coupon for $125 that you can use on your first order. So you get $125 worth of products for only $100. So that's a good bargain. And this welcome box has items in it that total about $65. So that's free also. All right. And then I did talk about Paper Pumpkin. You've got until August 10th. It's set on that for the 25% off. So. And then we've got the product of the month still going on, the Begonia Bell stamp set. With $75, you can purchase this for only $5. And we're going to have a new one coming out in just a few days here. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. But we're using the Begonia Bell stamp set today on one of our cards I wanted to show you. And then for, whoops. All right, it's not showing it. For some reason that doesn't want to show. Let me remove this one. There we are. The product of the month for August is going to be designer series paper. And what did I do with my flyer? Well, I just had it. Okay, here it is. The product of the month for August is going to be Glow of Harvest in this 12 by 12 designer series paper. And it says it's specialty designer series paper. It says tighter patterns make excellent backgrounds. Pearlized finish adds a lovely shimmer to every page. So you probably can't see it that well on the screen there, but that's going to be really pretty. You'll get 12 sheets, 2 of each of 6 single-sided designs. So they're not double-sided, they're only single-sided. But you'll get 12 sheets and 2 each of 6 designs. Pearlized finish adds a lovely shimmer to every page. Acid and lignin free. This product is photo safe. So that's real good for people that do the scrapbooking. All right. Get it before it's gone. And again, with this one, it's with a $75 order. You can add this onto your order for only $5. All right. And then next we have a paper sale that's going to start August 4th. And it's going to be 15% off select designer series paper and cardstock. So we don't know which ones are going to be on that list, but you can check back on that morning or whatever to find out. Maybe the day before they'll give us a little bit of hint. We don't really know. So it says stock up on your favorites or explore new colors and designs. So they're kind of giving us a sneak peek there of that one there. So that's good. I don't remember what that one's called. I know I have it, but I don't remember the name of it. All right, let me see if I've forgotten anything. Shuffling all these papers. Don't forget about our online exclusives in my store. In fact, we are had just added new ones in July. It's going to be some Christmas ones in there, some of the holidays. It's like Christmas and some Halloween, some fall. So large assortment of things. All right. So let me get things out of the way. Okay, that sale on the paper goes until August 31st, and that's while supplies last. So you might want to get your order in sooner rather than later. All right. So I think we're ready to get on with our cards. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. Looks like we got everything covered. All right. Be sure you comment when you come on. Say hello. Let us know where you're watching us from. It's always fun to see where everybody is. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera around, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I think I'm going to start out with the hot foiling system first. Well, maybe I'll do a card first and make sure everybody gets here to watch it. All right, so let's do that. Let me turn my camera around to my desktop. And I'm a little bit crooked. I wonder if I can straighten it if I mess up. I guess that's good enough. All right, so we're going to hold off on our foiling one. We're going to do another one in place of that to start with. I've limited my space here, my working surface. So I've got to prod everything together here a little bit. Let me put those up there. Get everything out of the envelope. And let's get our card out of here. Put my instructions off there first. Okay, so here's our first card. Put my pointer out of the way. It's distracting. Let me get rid of that subscribe button too before we start. All right. Okay. So I think we're situated now. So this is our first card. It is a birthday card. And I've got this all popped up on dimensionals. And it's going to open this way. And it says inside, I didn't forget your birthday. I just wanted it to last longer. So these all come from the Phrases and Frames bundle. We're using this sentiment instead of the happiest birthday. We're going to have sending you hugs. And then I didn't forget to your birthday. I just wanted to make it last longer. And we're using this die for the framework and this little one for the sentiment. I'm going to change it up a little bit on the card that we do today. All right, so let me get our bits and pieces out here. I'm going to start out with our thick weight cardstock. And I'm reaching here. It is 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and then it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. And we're going to burnish that fold line. With our bone folder. And I want to see which way opens better. That one's where I want to go. All right, and then next we have a sheet of hydrangea hue, and this measures 5 7/16 by 4 3/16. And I've already embossed that using our floral spray embossing folder. I don't know if it's going to pick. Yeah, that's a pretty good look of it. All right, so that's embossed already. And then I'm going to take my craft white ink, which I just had, and I'm going to run it across the top of that to bring out some of the flower a little bit more. So let me grab a scrap of paper here to lay it on. And this is our craft white ink. It comes uninked, so they send you the white ink to go along with it. So you have to add that onto it after you get it. So we're just going to drag this across as much or as little as you want. Oops. So I want it to be pretty dark so you can see the images better. I'm going to drag and tap. I think that's good. So here's what you're left with. Very pretty. I love this embossing folder. All right, we're going to attach that to our card front. Grab my adhesive of choice, my combo glue. I want to get right up against the edges pretty close because I don't want it lifting off my card. So I hope everybody's having a good day today and you've had a good week. Mine's been pretty good. Can't think of anything that's happened. Pretty normal. And we're going to attach that to our card front, leaving just a tiny space going around it. And we cut it at 1/16 inch. Try to get that fairly even. Ink is a little bit wet yet, so it's rubbing off on my fingers. Let me do it this way. There. So far, but we're not done. I have also die cut our basic white using, like I said, this framework here. Let me get that out there and show you. And then I run it through with my embossing mat to give it the impressions. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see. So this is a die. Very pretty. And this is, I thought her name was on here. Okay, the $1 Million Sales Achiever is Susan Campfield. So you might have watched some of her videos. That was her $1 Million stamp that she designed. And then I also did the sentiments. Well, I'll wait with that. But this is a die cut that I die cut for the sentiment. It's got little ridges, and it's also got a little impression going around. Probably can't see that on the video. All right, let me put these back in their containers. I don't lose them. You know how that is. All right, so we're going to take our frame and I'm going to place dimensionals on the back side of that. So I'm using some strips that I've gotten from Stampin' Up. These aren't the original ones that are for sale, but these came with a paper pumpkin or something. But you can get the strips of dimensionals in my store if you're wanting. Or you could use just plain dimensionals, whichever you prefer. So I'm going to put this along our frame. And I'm going to grab my silicone mat so I don't get everything sticky here. Okay. So I'm going to snip this one off. A little longer than what I need. And snip that one off and use this one on the top. Okay, sorry. Had the adhesive pulled off already. And I'm going to do some filling in. Let me just cut some strips here. All right, and this little piece right here we'll use. Yeah. All right, now that I'm sticking to everything here, let's move those out of the way. I'm going to grab my take your pick tool and we'll grab the backing off of those strips. I'm shaky today. I don't know what's going on, if my blood sugar is messed up or what's going on. I don't think I had too much coffee, just more normal. Or maybe it goes along with this old thing. Okay, now we're going to attach that to our card front. And center that. All right. There we have the frame on there, a little bit of dimension. And then we're going to stamp our little banner here. And okay, I've got stamps that I need and my black Memento ink pad. All right, so let's stamp our sending you hugs. And right in the center. And I might as well go ahead and stamp the inside, being I've got the ink pad open here. I didn't put another layer on the inside. I'm just going to stamp it directly onto the card itself. And center that. I like this little saying. I think when we're using that for quite a few things. I didn't forget your birthday. I just wanted it to last longer. All right, now we're going to take our little label here and we're going to place that on dimensionals. Let me close this up. And I might as well finish off this sheet here. Well, I'm doing my live. It sounds like my husband's going to do the mowing. All right, and then we're going to place that down at the bottom right-hand corner. And my dimensionals aren't sticking very well. I guess because of the ink on there, so it might take a while to dry. Sending you hugs. And I'm going to put a double bow that I made out of our baker's twine, the white. I'm going to attach that to our sentiment there. Well, maybe I'll just right there. All right, I'm going to grab some mini glue dots that are in our paper pumpkin kits. And we'll put that down right next to our sentiment label. It's getting warm in here. I turned the fan on, but you don't want to listen to the fan. All right, and then next we have our embellishments are going to be the hues of blue flowers. These are still available. And I'm going to use the white flowers. And I'm going to use the smaller ones. I'm going to place them onto our card front. I think I'll use 3. And maybe another, well, probably right there. Okay. So that was fairly simple for our first card. Sending hugs. And I didn't forget your birthday. I just wanted it to last longer. All right, so that's card number 1. And I was going to do different colored frames, so let me see what you think. I did one with the Secret Sea, but I thought that was too dark. I didn't really like that. And then I did another one with a hydrangea hue, but it kind of blends in too well. But it could look good. I don't really mind it. So let me know which one you like better, the white, the hydrangea hue, or the Secret Sea frame. Which one you like. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with our foiling one, our second card. And maybe clear up my desk here a little bit to make a little bit of room. I forgot to mute my phone. Let me do that. Do not disturb. Okay. All right. So let me show you the card that we plan to make. So thinking of you. Let me get my bits and pieces out here. Okay. So instructions. Thinking of you. Look how pretty those butterflies are. I'm really hooked on this hot foil machine. I really enjoy using it. And it says, thinking of you, keeping you in my thoughts, holding you in my heart, remembering you in my prayers. Okay, so I use the I'm using the Butterfly Flight hot foil dies and the Classic Greeting hot foil dies, our mask, butterfly mask, and then the stamp set for the inside sentiment comes from Prayers and Promises, and it's this one right here. So let's get this all going. All right. So we're going to start off with our card base, which is going to be our hydrangea hue. And I cut that the same orientation. It's 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and then it's scored in the center at 5 1/2 inches. And Put my bone folder over here and burnish that fold line. And we're going to go with the portrait. Yeah. And then our inside layer is basic white. That's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. It's going to go on the inside. And then we have our designer series paper, comes from the 2028 in color gingham gallery, and we're using the hydrangea hue one here. Okay, but first we have a basic white layer, and this measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches, and that's going to be our mat that's going to go on top of our card front. And then our designer series paper measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. You could use either side, but I think I'm going to use the large pattern. And we can go ahead and start sticking this all down. Using my Tombow glue. And then our designer series paper. And we'll center that onto our basic white, leaving a small border going around. All right, that's all for the card part for now. Now we'll start with our hot foiling. And we want you to plug it in. It's going to take it about 6 minutes to heat up. I should have done that. Oops. Did I come unplugged? No. Okay, so it's going to blink and then it's going to go solid. Let me tell you about our hot foil system. We've got a new one coming, a new brochure that's going to be starting August 4th. And it says Radiance Awaits. And you can see it's some Christmas things in there, some Christmas color foil. And some samples. Also, they're coming out with a reverse hot foil die, which you'll be able to use up your leftover foil using that. So that's going to be good. And then we've got some new bundles available. We've got some that are leaves. It's called Lustrous Leaves. And that's also got the masks that go with it. You can get that as a bundle. And then it's got Graceful Evergreen Deer. And you can get it as a bundle and get the stamp and the dies and the foiling. And then we've got Framed and Fabulous with the dies. We had some of these before, but this has got the embossing hot foil. Wreath and Wonder. And Twinkling Tidings bundle. And Starry Night bundle. And then a Buffalo Check foiling system. That looks good too. And a Christmas Wish hot foil. Magical Christmas hot foil and dies. And then the new foils that are coming out is going to be copper, green, red, and silver opal. So that'll give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 choices of foil. So that's good. And here's some samples of what's in there. And some more samples. So I'm loving this hot foiling stuff. It's kind of addicting. Once you start, you can't stop. All right, so we're still waiting for that to heat up. And I should have plugged this in earlier. I meant to, and then I got sidetracked, so I apologize. What can we do in the meantime? I've already cut my hydrangea hue cardstock. We're going to put our butterflies on there. Oh no, we're doing white. I got the wrong paper. We want the white, basic white, to do our butterflies so we can do some masking coloring afterwards. And then I've got another smaller one with a hydrangea hue that's going to do our sentiment thinking of you. So we don't need this paper. We can put that away. Come on, machine, hurry up. I've already cut my foil to size. This will go on this one. And this goes on this one. I'm thinking I might be able to cut both at the same time, or maybe not. We'll have to see how I can fit them on there. I'd like to do 2 at a time if I can. All right. And it should be beeping here pretty soon. All right. I'm watching paint dry here, it looks like. All right. Well, I don't want to stop with this card and start another one in between. We'll just go ahead and wait. I don't even have any stories I could tell you. So, So here's our system. It's the machine. You get 2 plates. This one, the green one, is the hot foil sham. And then you get a top plate that's called a spacer, hot foil spacer. We'll go on top of that. We also have another mat that when we pick up our dies, we put them onto our mat to cool. And it's a magnetic tool here to pick them up with. So that makes it real handy and don't have to burn your fingers. All right. I guess we could do our ribbon while we're waiting here. Be doing something, keep us occupied. So, going that direction. The ribbon is the hydrangea hue bordered ribbon. And I'm just going to zigzag that at the bottom. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus to put a few strips to hold it in place. Maybe just 2 will do it. And then we're just going to kind of zigzag our ribbon on there. And I want that a little bit closer. And zigzag it back to the top. And grab our ribbon scissors and whack that off. Okay, so it's going to go across the bottom like that. And then we'll put our sentiment over the top of that to hold it down. And we're still not ready yet. I should have had this plugged in before. Wasting everybody's time here. All right. Be sure you say hello when you come on. And be sure that you like and share the video if you're watching on Facebook. And hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel if you're watching it there. And then the bell, you'll be notified when I go live. So just a little reminder. All right, we finally beeped. All right, so we're going to bring out our dies here. So we've got 2 sets of dies. We've got some that cut out, and these are the hot foil ones. They're the texture is a lot different. And it's flat on the back side. You want to put that down. And I'm going to see if I can't squeeze our other die on with that. So let me see what I can do. I like to just run it one time and get everything done. So there's the dies that come with it to cut them out. And then here is the hot foil die. So I'm going to place that there. And we're going to hit our button again. And now the yellow light is flashing. And I'll leave these out because I got to use the dies for them yet when we're finished. And I've got a large basic white and our foil. And the shiny side will go down. And then our cardstock on top of that. And then I've got hydrangea hue along with a little piece of the gold foil. And I'm hoping I can do both at the same time. Looks like I probably can. All right, now we're waiting just a minute for this to heat up, which I think it takes about a minute and a half. Put my plates back over here. I guess we're kind of laid back today. We're not in no hurry. If you're watching it later on the replay, you can always fast forward this so you don't have to watch everything dead silence, nothing going on. All right. Like I said, it should only take a minute or so, minute and a half, or 2 minutes. I'm not sure exactly how many. It doesn't take as long as the first time. There we go. All right, now we're going to take our foil. I'm going to place that over this one, and then our paper goes on top of that. And then our larger foil, probably didn't need all this. And I've already got it cut, so I'll also keep going with it. And then our paper on top of that. And I'm hoping I got the whole thing there. Now we'll put our green plate. And then our clear plate on top of that. And then we're going to unplug. And I don't want that falling on the floor. I think it'll stay there. And then I'm going to bring my cut and emboss machine up here. And we're going to pick this up. You can hold the sides, and the bottom's not hot, so just that top surface. We're going to run this through our machine. You want to run it through slow. Not like your die cutting. This is a slow motion. I guess that allows the foil chance to adhere where it needs to be without zipping right through. Okay, and set that there. I'm just going to slide that aside because we're going to be using that to cut these out. And here's our butterflies. And here's our greeting. Trying to see, it just grabs it real good. Put that over on our cooling mat. And we're done with our machine. We can set that aside. Let's make room here. All right, and then the final reveal is we pull off our foil, thinking of you. I got a little spot right there that it missed. I don't know why that happened, but it's okay. And okay, we got part of our sentiment on that side. All right, so I'm going to put my machine down for a moment because we're going to do our coloring with our ink pad and our blending brush. This one doesn't need anything done, just a die cut. And I'm going to grab a scrap paper here. And then I'm going to hold it in place with my washi tape. And that's just so it doesn't move on me. And then we're going to bring our colors over here. We're going to do hydrangea hue. Oops. Guess I didn't grab that. Here it is, hydrangea hue, azure afternoon, and blueberry bushel. So I'm going to start out with the azure afternoon. And we'll bring our masks over here. Where did I put them? I just had them. Oh, on the side of me. You get 5 masks in here, but I'm only going to use the first 4. And I have used a Sharpie to mark my numbers because they're kind of hard to see. So we don't need 4. We want just 1 through 3. We're going to start out with number 1. I'm going to line that up on my butterflies. Hope you can see that. And I'm watching this top one first, and then the others should line up pretty good. Let me scooch that a little bit. And I'm going to add more washi tape to hold that so it doesn't move on me. Need to find the end of it. And make sure that's right. Okay, we're just going to hold it down at the top. And ink up our brush, tap it off a bit. And we're going to come in and color. So this is Azure Afternoon. You can go as light or as dark as you want. No set rules. I love doing this. So relaxing. I've got a noisy vehicle going by. And this has 5 butterflies on it. So if you don't use all of them, you've got some already done to use later on. So that works. I keep all of mine. You never know when you need a butterfly on a card. All right, so that's Azure Afternoon. I'm going to lift that off. Close up our ink pad. See how pretty that is? And next we got number 2 masks. We'll do the same, match that up with our butterflies. And just looking at all of them, make sure that they're centered right. And my washi tape back here to hold that in place. All right, we're done with Azure Afternoon, so we're going to go on to our hydrangea hue. I'm using the same brush because these are all in the blue family, so it doesn't matter. I started out with the lightest and then go to the darkest. So hydrangea hue is on the second mask. Y'all are quiet today. And when you're done with these masks, all you gotta do is hold them underneath your kitchen faucet or bathroom faucet, whatever you have, and run water over them, and it rinses it right off. Easy cleanup. All right, so there's number 2. Hydrangea hue. Lift that up. And then we're going to do number 3. Lining it up again. Just got a frog in my throat. And it looks good. Use that washi tape to hold it in place. And now we're using blueberry bushel. And we'll do the same with the third mask here. I did some playing with different colors of butterflies. And I think I've got some good combinations that I wrote down to save for when I'm doing butterflies. I can change up my colors. Oops, that moved on me. I'm probably shaking the table too. All right, so that looks good. Let me close this pad up. We'll do our reveal. And oh no, don't do that. I grabbed off part of that butterfly wing, but I think you'll be okay. All right, now we want to bring our cut and emboss machine back up here to die cut these. And we're going to do our normal sandwiching. Got the number 1 base plate, and our number 2 spacer. And then I've got 2 cutting plates. And we're going to add our butterfly and our sentiment. Die cut those. All right, let me get the dies here. We're going to use this die for the butterflies. You've got some extra dies in here too. You've got 2 butterflies, butterfly bodies, and some leaves. All right. And some washi tape to hold this in place. Okay, line up our die onto our butterflies. We don't want to mess them up now, so I'm using my washi tape to hold the die in place so it doesn't shift on me. We don't want it moving. And then next I have the die for the greeting. Thinking of you. I think it's this one. No, that's not it. This one. Yeah, that's the right one. And again, I'm going to hold that in place with my washi tape. And get that position down there. And my top plate. And I'll run that through. We can go fast on this one, cutting out the dies. And the crackling is normal on your machine. I think that's all I have to die. So we're going to put that back down out of our way. And put these aside. Okay. Here's our sentiment, thinking of you. With a die. And then our butterflies I'll cut out separately. Should have brought my magnetic dish over here for my dies, and I didn't. Okay, so all of them cut out. So we got 5 butterflies and 1 greeting. So let's bring our card back over here. Where did I put it? I have lost the card. That is crazy. Did I put it over here? Yeah. Okay, we found it. Had me worried there for a minute. All right, and then our greeting is going to go over that ribbon. So let's go ahead and attach that with some dimensionals. And I thought I had a package over here. Well, I did have them. Wherever they went, I don't know. Let's grab another package. I don't have the large ones, just the small ones here. Okay, so we'll use the small ones. Take your pick tool. And I've got this little one left over from something, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the middle. And we'll grab a bunch of little ones and put on our greeting. And maybe one more in this corner. Whoops, I lost the dimensional on that one. All right, and pop all those off. All right, thinking of you. Make sure it's straight. There we are. And we're going to use the middle size. We're going to be using these 3. And these are going to go on the inside of the card. So again, dimensionals. Oh, here they are. I didn't have very many left on there. Might as well use them. I'm just going to put 1 in the middle of the body. And our last one. Okay. Trash can's covered up. I can't throw it in there right now. So I'm going to start with the top left-hand corner with the larger one. And center him at an angle. And then next we have another one. Somebody said what kind of butterflies these were that are, but I don't remember the name of them. If anybody knows, put it in the comments. I think they're native to Florida or something, I think she said. Hi, Rosie. Good morning. I'm on my second card. If you missed the beginning, you can go back and watch the replay. Catch what you might have missed. All right, and then next we've got embellishments. Go ahead and grab those. These are the 2026-2028 in color dots. And I'm going to use the hydrangea hue color. I'm going to add 3 to our card front. So I'm going to start out with the larger one. Put that there. And another large one, maybe right there, and then a small one. I always do 3s in 3s, odd numbers. All right, so that's the outside of our card with our butterflies. I just love this hot foiling system. All right, then our inside layer is our basic white, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp our sentiment, which says, keeping you in my thoughts and prayers. And that comes from the Prayers and Promises. It's the sentiment right here. All right, bring our black ink pad back over here. Get that all inked up. And to stamp that, gotta see where I stamped it at. Okay, I stamped it out to the left side towards the bottom. Close our ink pad. And now I'm going to add these other 2 butterflies to the inside of our card. As long as I've got them, I also use them. And I put both at the top. All right, like so, looks good. I'm just using my adhesive, my Tombow glue or green glue, whichever you call it. And our little butterfly can go above him. All right, now that can go on the inside of our card, and we can call it finished. Oops. And there we go. All right, thinking of you. And on the inside, keeping you in my thoughts, holding you in my heart, and remembering you in my prayers. I have a friend I need to send this to. All right, so that's our second card. And let me straighten up just a bit here. Our next one is going to be using our Begonia Bell. This was the product of the month for July for $5 with a $75 order. And here's a look at the card. Get all of our bits and pieces out here. I'm not doing too bad with time. I thought maybe I was running a little over, but I think I'm pretty much on through here. Okay, so it says sending lots of happiness your way. And then on the inside, you are my sunshine. So you could put this flower up on dimensionals too, but I left it flat. Sometimes it's easier to mail if you don't have too much dimension to it. All right, so our card is going to start out with our thick white again. And I did all my cards in the same cut here. 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and then scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. We're going to burnish that fold line. And then we're going to set that aside for a moment. And then we've got 2 designer series papers here. We've got this one, and then we've got this one. And I've already showed this is in the gingham in color. And this other one, this one comes from the Moonlit Flora DFP. And I'm using this pattern right here. All right, so our first designer series paper is going to measure 4 3/16 inches by 5 7/16 inches. I'm using a lot of 16th inches here today. Okay, so that's going to go down onto our card front. I just threw the cap of my glue here. Hopefully JoJo doesn't come here and get a hold of it. I think she's taking her nap, so that's a good girl. All right, and place this down. And that looks good. And then I've got our gingham designer series paper. This measures 2 3/4 inches by 4 3/16 inches. And we're just going to tear to give it that shabby look. Used to do a lot of this paper tearing years ago. All right, and then that's going to go onto the bottom here. We're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment first. And let me bring over my, I need to rearrange something here. You're going to hear a big bang. There. All right, so we're using all these stamps today. So might as well just get them all out here. I'm going to miss this stamp set. I like this begonia bell. It's been fun. All right, and then I'm going to take my sentiment that says sending lots of happiness your way. We're going to stamp that at the bottom corner with our black memento ink. And bottom right hand corner. All right, good impression. And we're going to close that for now. We'll come back to that later. And we're going to attach this to our bottom of our card. Make sure that opens right. Yeah. Didn't want it upside down. Who's ever done that? Put your card upside down. I have. All right. And then we're going to do some stamping. Here's our card so far with that torn edge. And I'm going to bring some basic white cardstock over here. We're going to start stamping our flowers and our leaves. And I'm using the Golden Glow and the Peaceful Pine for the leaves. So let's get started with that. I'm going to start with the innard, well, no, I'm going to go with the detail part of it first. Get that all inked up really good. All right, press that down, let it soak in just a moment. And this will get lighter colored after it dries too, so it's not going to be that dark. And now we're going to do the detailed part of it. And trying to match that up. We don't have a die for this set, so I'm going to have to do some fussy cutting, but it shouldn't take us too long, hopefully. And we don't need that one yet. We need our leaves. And I'm going to start with a small leaf here. It goes for our little buds. And our bud is going to go with a golden glow. And we're going to match that up. Cute. And close up the golden glow for now. We'll come back to that later. And we'll do our leaves. And I'm going to bring my scrap paper over here so I can stamp off. I think this is the outside of it. We want 3 leaves. So 1 there. And this too is going to lighten up after it dries. It kind of looks dark right there, but it's not really that dark. All right, and this one we're going to stamp off once. And stamp it. Stamp off. I'm still shaky for some reason. What's going on today? All right, and I'll set that aside for now. And let me get some of these out of the way. And this one used. Okay. All right, now we're going to grab our paper snips. And we'll start fussy cutting. I'm going to put this out to be able to handle it easier. And we're just going to go around our flower, leaving a little white edge. Trying to go fast, but I'm trying not to go too fast that I mess it up here. So I should have had some of these cut out ahead of time. Sure is quiet. So I have a birthday coming up next week on the 4th. We ain't going to talk about how old. But it's only a number, I guess. So I shouldn't worry about it. All right, there's our flower. And we'll do our leaves. I thought I had 1 leaf already cut out. Did I save that one? I'm not seeing it. Where it went to, I don't know. So I want 3 leaves. And then the flower bud. I'm not moving my scissors, I'm moving the paper when I fussy cut. 1 leaf. Here's a flower bud. So our weather here in Arkansas has been hot, hot. And I guess we're in summer. That's our normal. We did have, I think, one day in the hundreds. That was the air temperature, and then the heat index was like 115 or something. That was miserable. And my husband's working out in it, working on his truck. He still hasn't got that fixed, so not sure when that's going to get done. That's our truck that pulls our camper, so until we get that fixed, we can't go anywhere camping either, which it's too hot to go camping right now anyway, so that's okay. But hopefully he gets it fixed pretty soon. He thinks it might be the computer maybe, so we may have to send it off and get it fixed. I was even thinking maybe we need to sell the camper. We don't have a truck to pull it. But have faith. He's a good mechanic. I'm just surprised that he's not finding the problem with it. He's checked everything on it. Okay, is that our last leaf? Yes. Okay, all of our cutting is done. And here's our flower and our 3 leaves and our bud. All right, let's bring our card back over here. All right, and then I die cut our Golden Glow and our basic white using the Nested Essentials dies, and I'm using the largest and the second to the largest. All right. I think I might put this up on dimensionals. Glue this down, but I think I might put the flower up on dimensionals on this one. Change it up just a little bit. And we're going to place this on that left side. And glue that down. And then we're going to come in with our white one. But first, we're going to do some stamping on that first. I've got the, I don't know, the dotted that's in that set. And I'm going to use the Golden Glow. It's like hashtags or something, I guess. And figure out which way I want to go with it. Right there. And again at the bottom. Or it could be the top. And that's all we're going to do with that. All right, then now that can go on to our Golden Glow layer, die cut. Centered it. All right, and I'm going to put my flower up on dimensionals, and I still don't have any large ones here. And we'll stick to the small ones, I guess. They work. And let's put one in the middle just to help support it. And pull those backings off. And we're going to place that down. I'm just going to put it lightly because I might want to move it. And then I'm just going to do a dry fit with my leaves. And our little bud. And our other leaf is going to go at the top. Yeah. Need to turn the flower a little bit. Oops, that stuck pretty good. Thought I put it down there lightly. I guess I didn't. Well, you never know which up and down on this flower. Adhesive on one leaf. Do our other leaf at the bottom. And let's go ahead and attach our flower down. That's a good spot for it. And our other leaf is going to go up top. Oh, we're supposed to have 2 buds. I only did 1 bud. All right, that's okay. We'll just do one on this one. All right. And then I made a little bow, a triple bow. And we're going to place that right underneath our flower. And grab the mini glue dots again. I think one's good enough. All right. And then on the inside, did I put another layer on the inside? No, I just used the card base. We're going to stamp that flower again. So I'm going to bring that over. And it should have enough ink on it where I don't have to re-ink it. So let me try that. We'll huff on it. Just want a faint image of it. Ooh, that's too faint. All right. Let's ink that up again. And our scrap over here to stamp off once. All right, that's better. And the detailed stamp. We're going to stamp that off also. And come in here and line that up. All right. And then our sentiment for the inside is "You Are My Sunshine." And I'm using our black memento. I know we don't sell it anymore, but I'm still using mine. You are my sunshine. And then I have that little strip that was cut off. Or we tore off. So I'm going to add that to the bottom of the inside of our card. Line it up at the bottom edge. Okay, but we're not done yet. We need to add some embellishments. I'm going to use those same embellishments, the 2026, 2028 in color dots. And this time I'm going to use the Golden Glow color. So I'll start with the large one. Oops, I lost that. Place one there, and then I'm going to do 2 small ones. One there, and another one can go onto our flower right here. So 3s. All right, I think our card is finished. So moving some of the trash out of the way here. We'll bring these back over. And this one. Okay, so here's our 3 cards today. I hope you enjoyed them. Let me know which one is your favorite one. I don't know. I like all 3. Each has its good qualities. I don't know. Like I said, I'm partial to the foiling now. It's a new toy that we're playing with, and it's getting to be a habit. The more we make, the more we use it, the more we want to make. So can't wait for the new products to come out August 4th. All right. So again, thank you for being here, and come back next week, which will be, let me look at my calendar, August 6th. So until next week, y'all have a good rest of your week. I want to thank you again for being here, and I want to thank you for shopping with me. And next week, same time, same channels. Bye.